Hey guys, Stephanie here. Something I noticed this week as I was reading a lot of y'all's discussions were that you were interested in makerspaces, but you didn't know what they are. And as this was my fifth year as a school librarian, I will be entering my sixth year this coming school year. I wanted to share with you some awesome things I've seen in makerspaces as well as what a makerspace is. Um, Feel free if you want to ask questions. I'm going to share these slides with y'all, but it's mostly just going to be photos and information. But if you have questions, definitely feel free to ask. I'm always here for y'all. That's kind of what I'm here for this summer in my internship, is to share with you how the assignments that you're going to be doing for Dr. Perry align with what we're doing in the real world of librarianship. And I also know that you're going to have to do a project where you find movers and shakers in the library world. Shameless self promotion, but also I can give you plenty of my friends. There are awesome librarians out there. There's also the School Library Journal's award for movers and shakers that you can look into. But I also want to share some awesome resources and some people that I learn from every day that I'm in contact with, and just share that with y'all. So here we go. Okay. So first of all, a makerspace is kind of exactly what it sounds like. So according to makerspaces.com, it is a collaborative workspace inside of a school, library, or separate public or private facility for making, learning, exploring, and sharing that uses high tech or no tools. Um, I like how even later in this paragraph it says a makerspace, however, does not need to include all of these machines, because a lot of makerspaces that you're going to see will have these really high tech machines like 3D printers, laser cutters, CNC machines, soldering irons, and sewing machines. I've seen some really cool stuff where people are doing circuits. So those are fun. But even if you just have some cardboard, some Legos, and art supplies, you'll be good to go. If you click the link right here for makerspaces.com, you'll find a lot of good information there. I also wanted to give you the Google definition of a makerspace, which is a place in which people with shared interests, especially in computing or technology, can gather to work on projects while sharing ideas, equipment, and knowledge. And that's what we as librarians want our students to do. We want them to share ideas, try out new things, and share their knowledge. I always tell my students at my makerspaces that this is not a place for you to be worried about grades or worry about what others are going to think of you. This is your place to try things, to try new things, to fail, to learn something new, to try something out that you've never tried before. It is your place to explore, whether it be new technology, old technology, something you just want to make or try. This is your space to try new things in a safe, contained area. So this is my first really big makerspace. My first middle school library was at in Austin ISD, and this was a very independent makerspace. It was almost completely funded by donations. So it was I had it when Marie Kondo was a thing, and as people were Marie Kondoing or getting rid of things, they would donate their craft supplies or old things to the library. And that was how our makerspace was funded. So a lot of it, like I bought some things, but a lot of it was just donations from students and the staff. A lot of it was student organized. So you'll see all of the tools, all of the supplies are in these little baskets or in boxes, and all of that was organized by my library aides. A lot of it is craft supplies. So you've got fabric, there's thread, whoops, there's buttons. This down here was cotton, so they could make pillows, beads, shells, straws, clay. That was leather, feathers, pom poms. During Christmas, they made earrings with the leather. That was really fun. And then you can see this student had a Lego ship he made. You can see kids back here in the back playing with the Legos. I had Connects. We even had Lincoln Logs. These are the really big fancy Legos. And then I had books that aligned with making stuff. So stuff about like crochet, you can see right here, friendship bracelets, Lego making, Scratch, Minecraft, Roblox, all those kind of books were in this area. So it was a very low tech makerspace, but it was used so much. I was constantly having to refresh materials and ask for more donations because the kids loved it. They would come in before school, during lunch, and sometimes after school, and they were always making stuff in there. And one of my favorite things was they made ping pong paddles, and they were playing ping pong because there were ping pong balls in there. So that was fun. I've also included links to my website, my link tree, and my Instagram here. If you want to go through anything in there, you are always welcome to ask questions and see more if you want. And this is just some more of what I had in that makerspace. So you can see there's the ping pong balls, foam paper, glue, crayons, streamers, more stickers, fabric, cross stitch stuff. Now with the sewing stuff, I did keep the actual needles in my library office, and then if they wanted to sew something, they would just ask for it. But you can see it's just a place for them to make things. It was a very crafty, very independent, low-key makerspace, but the kids loved it. I also had these stick together posters. If you've never seen them, you can see, let me see if it'll let me zoom in. Nope, it does not. Okay. You can see that picture, there it is. It's kind of pixelated because each little block is a different color. And so the kids would have to match the color to that block. And each box is just a little square of color and it makes this big thing. So it's really cool because I have to work collaboratively. And that I ordered from Demco. And then I would get puzzle donations, and there's also Facebook groups where you can get puzzles, and my students loved them. So we would have a puzzle mania day in the spring around testing time, and they would just puzzle. And I had a lot of kids who would really just want to do puzzles, so that was always fun. During teacher appreciation, we had a maker activity where the student library aides cut these strips of construction paper, and I mean like hundreds of strips. And then the kids would come and write notes for teachers, and they just added to the chain. So you can see like there's some teacher names. This person rocks. Like it was really cute to see. And then so we had a sixth grade chain, a seventh grade chain, and eighth grade chain, and then those went up in the hallways. So this wasn't even in the actual maker space; it was just a maker activity that was being held in the library. Right before the COVID shutdown, I did this coronavirus makerspace when we all were like, oh, it's not going to be a big deal. It's fine. I found this mini zine online that was linked to, I don't even remember now, but it was some newspaper's website. And I had a Chromebook with the video information for them, and they had scissors, and they would watch the video about the coronavirus, and then they would make their own little informational zine. And this is what it looked like right here, this little tiny thing. And so you can see my girls right here were making it and they loved it. And I just hand wrote a little sign that said, want to make a coronavirus info mini zine. And so it doesn't have to even be an actual space. Like if you're in a smaller library or if you don't have the space for an actual maker space, it can just be an activity that you have going on. Some quick maker ideas. I learned these at a conference that I went to, I think like 2018. You can have an easy green screen. This is just one of those like folded, I don't remember what this is called, but it's just a folded piece of green paper. You can also buy green construction paper or buy one of those 3-fold posters that they use for science fairs and put that behind you, and that can be a green screen. You can also buy green fabric and hang it up and have just like a wall that you roll in or like thumbtack onto the wall, and then there's your green screen. You can do button making. I thought this has always been really cool, but I've never been able to buy a button maker. And then kids love, love, love perler beads. You just always have to be careful when they're handling whatever you're going to use to heat the perler beads. And then I'm friends with Colleen Graves, and she and her husband wrote the Big Book of Makerspace projects. I think now they have like 2 or 3 Makerspace books, but I linked this. You can go to it, and it will um, give you plenty of ideas for makerspace projects if you want, but there are also plenty out there on the internet. You can also go through Instagram, like look up hashtag makerspace, or on TikTok even, and you can find some great stuff. Okay, this was my very first makerspace. This was my first library when I was a freshman librarian. And the idea of makerspaces was still very, very new. This was in 2017. So the idea was still really, really new. People were still kind of trying to figure out what exactly we do in a makerspace and how they work in libraries. And so I thought it was really intimidating. And so I made it very easy for myself. So always remember that. Don't take huge projects and let them intimidate you. Just take a step at a time and do what's easy for you. So you can see I bought Lego kits, I bought Connect kits. There were puzzles, construction paper, stuff to make bracelets, um, duct tape, origami, sticker books, beads, yarn, and sketch paper. So it was also very low tech, it was very crafty, and then I just had books that related to what they were doing. But you can see this started as just, three simple shelves of supplies. And I also would have teachers who donated stuff. They would ask if they could bring in things. And so I had a lot of teachers donate stamps. There was like a bunch of people who were into stamps. And so they brought stamps. I remember they also brought in scrapbook paper. So that was always fun. But again, it was very easy. It was what I had around. I think I funded this with maybe like $400. So it was something that was easy, but I knew the kids loved and would enjoy. So one of my friends, Deb Zeman, offered some of her photos of what her students did this year. So you can see she had a contest where students drew ghosts and pumpkins, and that was a Halloween contest. I also included the link to her link tree where you can get more information about her and like what things she's done in her library. During National School Library Week, she had different activities every day. So there was magnet poetry, design a bookmark, blackout poetry, spine poetry, book face Friday, and then the jelly bean jar. So right here, you can see the students are guessing how many jelly beans are in that jar. And then she had them win something for the people who got the most. So your makerspace doesn't have to be something techy. If you have a 3D printer and if you want to do circuits and if you want to do coding, that's awesome. Do it. Have fun with it. But these are all what we had available, what we can afford, what we have time for. This is some of Deb's blackout poetry that she shared. These are gorgeous. If you've never done blackout poetry, it's a great way to get rid of weeded books. Just remember that. And then this is one of her Bunsey maker calendars that she makes. It's something really cool that Deb does is every month she makes maker calendars. And there's different activities every day. So this is the one from January. If you don't already know the Next Gen Librarian, follow her on TikTok and Instagram. Amanda is amazing. She's also another one of my good friends, and she shared some stuff from her Makerspace Club. So instead of having a whole Makerspace or like monthly or weekly or daily activities, she has a club that comes in and they do maker activities. So you can see this is one of her students made her a Post-it ring. These are doing activities. That looks like they're using Connects, building with Legos. This one more connects. They're using the Osmo. This one, see, there's more. They're doing circuits with Snap. So this one's both techie and low tech. So it's fun. It's what you want it to be. And I also included the link to her website if you want to see more of what she does. Amanda also shared her makerspace inventory. So these are all things that she has in her makerspace that she shares with the kids. So you'll also find some games. Like I have lots of games in my makerspace. I have Clue, Connect Four, chess, checkers, Battleship, any games that like teachers have or that I can find like at a thrift store, at a dollar store, Walmart, or um, my friend Garina, Q the librarian, I have a slide for her in a second, but she actually did a GoFundMe, not a GoFundMe, a donors choose, and got new games donated to her library. So your library can also include games in your makerspace. It's again, it's what you want it to be and what you make of it. And also think about what your students want to do. Here's some more that Amanda shared. This is some found spine poetry. So students used the book spines to make poetry, and then they did turkey book bingo during Thanksgiving. So she would read the description of a book, and they would play bingo to find the book. So just more activities you can do. And then Q the librarian, Karina, she's my best friend. She and I have lots and lots of ideas that we're always constantly sharing. And she has a whole wakelet. So if you click on this here, it will take you to a wakelet of a lot of activities that she's done in her library. And during COVID and during the pandemic shutdown, she did Maker Mondays on Instagram. And so all of her videos are also on YouTube and on her Instagram for her libraries page. So you can follow that or look on there for those videos. But she has some really great, very easy, low tech, fun maker activities that you can look through there. And I think, yeah, that's it. That's all I have for y'all. I hope this was helpful. Again, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Remember that your makerspace is what you make of it. It is what you see your students need for if they want to explore something, if they want to try something. Heck, if you see something cool on Instagram or TikTok that you want to try, try it with a couple kids. Like if you have library aides, my library aides are always my guinea pigs. And I always tell them, like, hey, we're going to try something that I saw online. And they're like, oh, great, another one. But it's a fun way to try new things with your students. And again, it's in a safe, contained space for you as well as the kids. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And I hope this was helpful. Bye.